A ton of you have asked this question, and it's worth discussing further. Do these cows have access to any kind of pasture? Do they ever get to go outside at all? A friend of mine is quoted as saying, "Pasture does not dictate welfare." If Mildred here were to be released out to a field when it's nice outside, would she be any happier? Would her performance be any better? Would she live a better life? If you've been in the Midwest the last few days, you'll know it has been like 50, 60 mile an hour winds. Obviously, that's not the case year round, right? There's got to be some nice days. And sure, there are, but here in Iowa, we don't have very many of them. Dairy cows can already feel heat stress around 75 degrees. Meaning when it gets warmer than that, they're going to find shade or shelter. Back when freestall barns like this were getting built, they used to have access to a pasture where they could go out there or stay in the barn. And what we've seen is the more and more comfortable we made these barns, the less and less time they spent outside. It got to a point where it didn't make sense to continue to allocate a resource, pasture, that cows didn't want to use. Now I'm going to stop right there. Are pastures a bad thing? I've caught some heat from farmers who do use pasture, claiming that I'm criticizing their practice. That's not what I'm trying to do here at all. Pasture has a great fit and can be a great thing for certain cows, contexts, and climates. Humans are the only species that have the ability to wake up on a nice morning and thinking, it's a beautiful day, I'm going to go for a walk. Dairy cows like Judy live every day just hoping they have access to somewhere to lay down, somewhere to eat, and something to drink. Let's double back to the dairy cows feeling heat stress thing. There have been other egg creators on this app who have claimed that dairy cows, Holsteins like these specifically, are man-made freaks. That we have bred the ability for them to survive outside, and we've bred their maternal instincts of these animals out of them. Do people really think that farmers like myself and people in the dairy industry sat down in a lab and removed those genes from these cows? Because such a thing like that has never happened. Here's what is really cool and really unique to me about the dairy industry. To me, it's the original livestock industry. Everybody's great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa and grandpa had a dairy cow. They had the family cow. Okay, maybe not everybody, but for literal centuries, probably millennia, we have had a close relationship with a family cow. And that family cow always gave milk. We've had such a close relationship with these animals for such a long time that, yeah, things have changed. But I don't think that's a bad thing. To me, that is really neat. They could have easily changed and evolved to have defense mechanisms that made our symbiotic relationship more difficult. But they evolved in such a way that made this symbiotic relationship easier. That's because they benefit and we benefit. This species knew under a farmer's care, they live a better life and a healthier life. And in return, we get dairy products. Could these cows survive outside? Absolutely. They could go outside and they would survive. But do they thrive inside this barn? Absolutely. Decades of research by farmers and people in the dairy industry has gone into what makes a cow comfortable. What makes a cow thrive? And how can we accomplish all of that by being better for the environment,